I did honestly put a comb through this and it's made it more poofy, so you're going to have to deal with my still scruffy looking hair. But besides, hairdo aside, yeah, don't worry, haircut will be incoming soon. Week with Will, we are back. Obviously, I've done a football one quite recently. I believe that was Saturday, so this is Monday evening. Hopefully, this will go out for my 20, 30 viewers. Thank you very much for those that do continue to watch. I don't post about that quite as much on Facebook anymore. So let's get into this. I believe I'm looking sort of between the 13th and the 21st of April. So it would have been the start of last weekend. It would have been, that's the Saturday, I believe, when I posted, with the actual day in itself was a case of, as most of my weekends are at the moment, just tidy up the house, do the jobs then, because I don't ever do them enough in the actual week. Going to the gym, just sort of being proactive, I suppose, keeping myself busy doing jobs. Probably need to be starting to look at doing more jobs directly involved with the state of the house, but that's another thing for another time altogether. With a work night out in the evening. I say night out, more of a meal out, because I was under the assumption it was going to be drinks and it wasn't quite. It was just a nice meal at the Forge in Ipswich. It was absolutely lovely. Fairly cheap, to be fair, all things considered. I'm not someone that actively goes out and about that much these days. I'm someone that's very much staying in, Netflixing, just gaming. When I say Netflixing, because I've only recently got Netflix back this week, it's just been a case of binge watching Yellowstone, which is one massive show I would absolutely love. But with all shows, give it the episode, because you always need something to sort of set the tone, set the pace, and then just let it go. And it's just, I've arrived so late to it, so I've got so many seasons to binge, and I absolutely love that. It's very good, partly because my actual PS5 controller, the actual joysticks are going a bit funny at the moment. So I feel like my right one sort of constantly like that. And so my character on Call of Duty is constantly spinning around. Which doesn't make things very easy when you're trying to shoot something and trying to keep the gun still. But there we have it. That side of things. So the actual meal was very nice. I didn't have too much to drink. It's sort of the Forge in itself. It's sort of more of a, how do I describe it as a restaurant? It's not Italian. It's sort of burgers. They would call it a bistro. I don't know. A burgery place. Just, yeah, we'll stick with that. And then the actual day after from that was a lovely day out in London. Away day in Ipswich. Following them against their game against Chelsea. Only my second away game this season, which included the 1-1 draw against Aston Villa. The actual day out for Chelsea was very fun, quite boozy. Sort of hopping on the train, not having to drive to London, thankfully, because drinks on trains, drinks when waiting for trains, drinks sort of getting into London, multiple ones. Very expensive drink in London. Not recommending that one for anyone. Quite expensive. With the buy and then actually get into the game. Currently a little bit hammered. Absolutely sort of lovely game. Absolutely love being part of the away day fans. Absolutely incredible. The atmosphere those fans get. I need to be going to more and more away games later on, sort of next season, regardless of what stadium or what league Ipswich are in, because I absolutely love the following. It's just, it's something about that, just to be part of something a bit bigger. And maybe I enjoyed it a bit more because the Ipswich fans were very loud and the Chelsea fans were very, very quiet. And this is not just my opinion. This is actually the Chelsea manager's opinion. As they actually said afterwards, he didn't think the fans were sort of helping them that much. It's like, well, maybe you need to give them something to cheer about. And it was a 2-2 draw, a very entertaining game. It could have gone either way. Took a wonder goal from Chelsea to level things up. It's a bit disappointing, but I mean, that sort of sums up how Ipswich have been this season, not being able to hold out for the 3 points. But leave it there. The Monday, back up at work, helping a colleague with their MBS drawings. In particular, that day was helping out with building elevations. It wasn't a necessarily big building, but the elevations needed drawing whilst he was doing the floor plans. Get that wrapped up, tied up, and sent away, which was nice and easy. Sort of nothing too complicated because the building itself wasn't too big, and it was almost just like a nice rectangular sort of squarish building. So it makes it very, very easy. Sort of beyond that, then I had my own actual MBS Measure Building Survey on the Tuesday, going to that colleague's site, or a different one that he's done, because they didn't have access into one of the buildings there. It was sort of a farm area, but they had sort of a bungalow there. A little bit wound up because the client said, be there at 10:30. Right, cool, fantastic. I can get in, do a little bit of work, prep myself, and go. Fine, fair enough. Actually got there. It was about an hour and a half. Very such a breakdown of communication between client/management. I'm not sure who's at blame or who's at fault. Don't really care too much. I just don't necessarily enjoy having my time wasted like that, trying to actually get onto a site, get things done, and get out of there. The actual site itself, once I actually got started, was very, very easy, but that's slightly beside the point, really, as I just want to get on with my work. It's as simple as that. Sort of one of my catchphrases, and it's just trying to get on with my work, which I'm certainly true. I'm at work. It's simple as that. So thankfully that wasn't necessarily a job that was too bad. Throughout this week, I didn't do too many activities outside of work. I did on the Monday going to the gym, but besides that, I didn't end up going to football, and I didn't necessarily end up going to the gym because I had a bit of a coffee, flu-y mess going on there. Wasn't very good, so I decided, you know what, I'm actually going to be sensible about this. I'm going to just stay at home, chill, recover, and then go, as I very much needed to do something along those lines. So sort of past that Monday and then Tuesday, the other 2 days remaining in said week were just trying to help wrap up one of my previous measure building surveys within London. So wrapping up the floor plans. There was 4 or 5 floors to the building, so it was a big set of flats. And then working towards the building elevations would be something I have to continue again with on Tuesday. I was about to say Monday there, I will not go full for that one. As well as having to then look at building sections, and building sections are going to be a nightmare in itself, so let's try not to panic too much over those. Leave that for tomorrow's Will to sort out, which he's not going to be happy about. So not too much to tidy away from that, so that hopefully then leaves my week not being too stressful with too many other jobs and bits to focus and to worry about. Beyond that, as I was saying, sort of on my Friday, having the Good Friday, it was a case of once again of just recovery. It was just Netflix and just laid out across the sofa. My cat, if nothing else, appreciated the fact that I was in and about the house the whole time. But somehow I didn't feel like I wanted to do too much. I didn't want to try and push things out when I'm struggling to breathe, to attempt to start running again, because not a very good idea. Just be lots of chest pains and just we sort of continued on to the Saturday, being a bit more proactive, trying to sort of feeling a lot better, breathing coming back to me, oxygen coming back to me, where I managed to attempt to go back to the gym, and then also dropping off Easter eggs for my nieces and nephews. All the same, I think they were Malteser eggs, I think, yeah. So that was good. I was told later on that was bonus points for avoiding any squabbling if all the eggs are exactly the same, which might be how I'm going to look at doing Easter eggs moving forward, for them to avoid any fuss, because I can't keep track of what chocolate's supposed to be considered good and what's not. I don't follow chocolate as much as maybe I should for someone who's got a sweet tooth. I might potentially be having a look tomorrow or the other days to see what's discounted and what I can get my hands on, maybe. But yeah, so I didn't actually get any proper Easter eggs myself. Well, on the Sunday and sort of the Saturday, I did end up getting some leftovers because my brother and sister had multiple eggs, and they felt, well, we can't eat them, we know who can. So yeah, I did end up getting a couple of mini eggs, which are actually really nice. Mini eggs, just absolutely love them. It's the second best thing about Easter. First being the actual time off in itself, so I can actually rest and recover. So the Sunday in itself was, once again, building strength back up, going to the gym, clean up some of the mess in the house. It's a family meal in the evening, which was very nice. Yeah, can't say too much more than that. The actual Monday, which is today, I've been committed to, right, I'm going to get back and start exercising more and start being proactive and trying to get out of my head, because my headspace this last week has been really, really dark and really, really miserable. And I'm not sure how much you want to know about how bad that goes. And for those that might know me very, very well, people can speak to me, and I can probably share some of that information with those that I'm comfortable with. But beyond that, just no. So managed to squeeze out a 5k, just running around the local park, trying to build the strength back up for that. A bit over half an hour, so it was a bit more of a slow one compared to what I had been doing, because I hadn't been running for probably about week, 2 weeks after the actual big 10k, which so I need to start building that back up again. Gym sort of a little bit after that, as well as sort of involving the plank challenge, which is still going well, still going strong. So that is sort of day 21 done, so I've got 9 more days left. Still trying to make an effort to raise money for Cancer Research UK. So anyone that is watching this and hasn't donated, get on the TikTok. I always put a QR code right at the end for those to donate. I've set a small target, so close to being there. Just need to push that over the edge, get that done. So we'll see how well that goes. And then it's a case of watching my mate play a sort of Sunday league, which was a nice experience to get out of the house. But it was a 0-0 draw. It wasn't necessarily the most exciting. A few crunching tackles and a few right saves from the goalkeepers. That's probably about it really from there. Hopefully maybe a TikTok live in a bit. We'll see. I haven't done one of those in a while because, well, I've had some very interesting people in the comments, to say the least. On that, I'll leave that there. So for my song of the week, I've gone for a band that I quite like. This has gone very... I've been told by friends it's a bit... How do I say this? Not teenage disco, because it's not really pop. It's sort of indie pop, I suppose. Seagulls, Midnight Butterflies. Nice and catchy, nice and upbeat. Trying to sort of keep going with that positivity hype. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much. I will see you all next week. Bye for now.